Yes, one more day. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be, and welcome to our very special podcast, because this is actually the first time we've ever had a special guest on our Sunday night podcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce, for the time being, Elena Sanchez.
Hello, thank you for having me.
The honour is all ours, and thank you as well, because normally on a Sunday we goof about, have a laugh, but we've actually never really been took out of our comfort zone, so it's actually nice to have a change from the norm, I will say that much. So as usual, it will start with a bit of news first. I'm not going to leave too much, because obviously we could be forever with our news anyway. Just a bit of it's actually two bits of news about England, actually. Not only has Peacock launched here, amazingly, it's actually also become part of Sky TV, much like WWE Network is now part of Peacock in the US. So, fortunately for me, I already have Sky TV, so I don't have to pay for it. So I can finally watch 2 seasons of Saved by the Bell. I can see what everyone in America and Canada has already watched. But I am actually genuinely looking for it. I haven't watched it yet. This is Saved by the Bell reboot, actually. Haven't watched it yet, but I am genuinely looking forward to seeing what it's like. So finally, gentlemen, I get to watch something that you've had for months, and I must admit, the relief does feel good.
I was worried about you for the longest time about that. I'm just going to be perfect.
You were.
I truly was.
Yes, I do have a tendency to not really be happy when one of them, say Fraser or Nathan, gets something before I do. Like in Canada, they get the Arrowverse before I do. They get obviously Canada and America gets a lot of movies before I do. They get the decent American WWE pay-per-views before I do. In fact, we're still waiting for a UK one right now. So just a question, Elena, have you seen Saved by the Bell reboot?
I have not.
You have not?
I have not. And honestly, the original was so long ago that I don't really remember. I have this weird thing where after a year or two of a show or a movie, I basically forget it, and then I can watch it again, and it's like the first time I'm seeing it.
That is the dream for me, because I actually know somebody who my sister went to school with. She has seen Bad Boys that many times. She could literally just mouth the entire script off to you. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore, like I have been able to do with so many. It is just so annoying, but I would actually love to have that skill, but I just don't.
Well, I think it depends, because, for example, I think if I watch it several times in a small span of time, it gets burned into my memory. Because, like, for example, when Titanic came out, I think I watched it in theaters 6 times. I was one of those people. So that movie, there's not much that I don't remember when I watch it. Yeah, but if I would have just watched it once,
it's fine. If I'm being brutally honest, my lady has made me see Mamma Mia 2 at the movies 10 times. I was quite happy with 2 times, but she insisted we go for 10. But she will say, well, it was your idea as well. I'm like, I was quite happy with 2. You're the one who went for 10. So, been there and done that. I know how you feel. So, by the way, chaps, have you two actually got Peacock? Or is it, mind you, it's just in the US, isn't it? But
yeah,
no. No.
I don't have Peacock. I just got Tubi, so.
When it comes to Saved by the Bell, we here in Canada have a wonderful thing called Crave. Yay, Crave.
Oh, yes, I know of this as well.
I absolutely love Crave.
I do know it.
Ladies and gentlemen, instead of having stuff like HBO Max and Peacock, you get items like Crave, where you get to pay a subscription to have the ability to pay for a subscription. It's great.
Oh. It is. It's literally the worst thing I've ever heard. It's not like, say, the US, where you can just pay so much a month for HBO Max and then go off and say get Amazon Prime for $7 a month and then go Disney Plus. Everything in Canada, I believe, everything in Canada is through Crave, isn't it?
No, not everything. We get our Amazon Prime, we get our Disney Plus, we get our Netflix, but anything with pre-existing deals with Bell Media, like a lot of particularly Warner Brothers properties will go through Crave. When it comes to stuff like Disney Plus, we have Disney Plus straight, so we can actually watch a lot of the movies that Elena has been a part of through Disney Plus, just as you can.
Yep. As actually it brings me on to my next bit of news. I actually think this is a bit of a low blow as far as Paramount goes, because Star Trek Discovery was due to be launched, I think it was last week, but Paramount Plus is coming to England, and what they've basically done is they've took Star Trek Discovery Season 4 off of everything Netflix, which is where Star Trek Discovery was, and now they're holding it until 2022 next year for Paramount Plus, which I kind of think is a bit of a sourpuss move, because I know I have actually watched all 3 seasons of Star Trek Discovery. I'm looking forward to seeing Season 4. However, it's not just Star Trek Discovery that's been took off Netflix. Apparently, it's every single thing to do with Star Trek. So, Next Generation, DS9, Voyager, Enterprise. I don't really think anybody really likes Enterprise anyway. Everyone kind of back in the day was like, well, yeah, I do want to see the reason why this happened, but at the same time, the show is just absolutely useless. So it was actually a bit of a hard pill to swallow, because I'll be honest, I have Disney Plus now, I have Netflix, I have Amazon Prime, I get Apple TV free because my lady just had an iPhone, which, to be fair, is free, so that's kind of like knocking away a freebie. What else have I got? I've got Sky as well, so now, on top of that, I have to see if I can add Peacock and Paramount Plus next year into my budget. So I think between that, I think it's either going to be a hard no, and not to mention I've got HBO Max coming in the next 4 years, which everyone knows. So it's a bit of a tough choice. I honestly don't know what I'd do. I mean, if you had the choice, Elena, say if you could only have 3 of those, what would you have? Because we actually discussed this a while ago, but obviously this was before the days of Peacock, and obviously before Paramount Plus came into recognition. So it's a bit of a tough choice, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I actually don't have that many. I have Netflix. I think Amazon Prime is a necessity, but also just because of the shipping of Amazon. I was just talking about this yesterday. Like, I don't know that I would actually have Amazon Prime if it didn't also include getting stuff quickly and free shipping. But as far as the third one, I would probably say HBO Max. Yeah.
To be fair, there is a lot on HBO Max that we would watch, because obviously Titans is on there. We're big DC fans. We love everything Batman. We're going to take a gloss over Space Jam. In Nathan's case, we're going to take a gloss over LeBron James's Space Jam. Yeah, he doesn't like it. I haven't even seen it, but the fact that he told me it was, well, what did you say about
the animation itself is spectacular. Just as a Warner Brothers animated production, animation is spectacular. If you want to watch it as an advertisement for HBO Max, you can. If you want to watch it as a movie, it is absolutely not a movie. But I will praise it for being the best portrayal of LeBron James I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Do not watch Space Jam if you're looking for a movie. If you're looking for a time capsule, I pray to God Space Jam is Space Jam: A New Legacy, isn't it? Space Jam 1996, however, is absolutely fantastic. Honestly, do yourself a favor. Go back to the 90s. Watch the original.
Watch Michael Jordan. Everyone loves Jordan.
Darn right they do.
Is there a person who does not like Michael Jordan?
I haven't met him.
I haven't met him or her.
I haven't either.
Oh, by the way, Elena, do you watch NBA?
No, I don't really watch. I'm bad. I don't really watch a lot of sports, except during the Olympics. I watch gymnastics. I was a gymnast. And in the Winter Olympics, I watch figure skating. And sometimes I'll watch soccer, like during the World Cup. But that's kind of it.
Yeah, fair enough. But to be honest with you, I would happily pay however much NBA League Pass is and just watch basketball, because I absolutely love it. I have been a Laker fan for the last, 1996, for the last 25 years. I absolutely love those boys. I've been through them with bad times, through the greater times, through the Shaq times, and through the Kobe times. May he rest in peace. Absolutely loved him. Half the stuff he did just have us. To be honest with you, it was actually because of Kobe Bryant. But one day at school, we actually talked about basketball because mainly everyone in my year at school was actually more football orientated. It was literally a case of, did you see it? Priceless for me. That always will be priceless. Yes, last bit of news before we interview dear Elena. Boys, I have some good news about Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City.
Okay.
I have one bit of news here from Digital Spy. They've reviewed it. It says Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is incredibly faithful to the games, which is the biggest plus. But it says ultimately it tries to squeeze too much into its runtime, leaving it feel rushed. Everything looks the part, including the well-cast actors, yet just none of the game's terror or tension. Shannon McGrew, who is also a film critic, has seen it, and she's put, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City may not be perfect, but goddamn was it a blast. Killer soundtrack, atmospheric, and lots and lots and lots of gore. Slash Films Matt Donato has said it respects the games as much as the trailer suggests. Works well when ramping tension through tight mansion combat. There was plenty to Resident Evil 1's virtual cinematography. Not perfect, but it works. And another has said that Resident Evil Raccoon City is a good time. The script is underwhelming, to say the least, but it has a great 90s action horror camp vibe to it. Loads of gore and tons of fun references for fans. Far from perfect, but I enjoyed it. Well, boys, we've got this. It's past the one major test of a movie adaptation. It stays faithful to the games, and everyone sees it. What more can we ask for?
It's true.
We just can't, can we? So with that being said, I am actually more looking forward to this now than I actually was before.
I can believe you. And the reason that I can believe you is because of everything that Elena has actually done in her career.
Uh-oh.
I believe he's cut out on us. Okay. See, this is the things that can happen on podcast. Congratulations to you, and thank you so much, Elena. We are going to go right ahead because Dean isn't the only one who is excited about this. I most certainly am too, and I will be more than happy to talk with you until Dean returns. So, you know, you are an incredibly versatile actress. You can speak 4 different languages. You can wield a sword and do a backflip at the same time. The maddest thing you've ever done is hang from a helicopter flying through Atlanta, and you've sworn in German while in the arms of a superhero. You know, you've played just about everything. Elena, welcome to the show. First of all, how did you get started in acting?
Well, thank you for having me, first of all. I'm really excited to be here. So I was in college studying hotel management, and I was miserable. I would go to the job fairs, you know, where all the big hotel chains were and other event companies, and I just was miserable. I felt so hopeless and just unsure of what to do with my life. And so we had to take electives outside of our major. So for my arts elective, I decided to take an acting class. And I just fell in love with it. It was my favorite class to go to that semester. And I just thought to myself, imagine being this excited to go to work every day. How do I make this happen? And pretty much it kind of seemed unrealistic, like
almost like acting, a dream come true.
Well, but it was I mean, now it's a dream come true, but like at the time it was just so far away and so foreign. Like I didn't know anyone in the business. Like you can't just decide to be an actor one day and just go to Hollywood and show up and say, here I am, put me in movies. But that's kind of I decided to do that in my brain and thought, okay, how do I make this happen? I'm just going to do it. Like, I would rather try to do this with the hope of making it happen than do a job that I was miserable doing.
That is honestly the most genuine answer I've ever heard. Thank you so much for that. As you grew into this and took an acting class and got really passionate about it, and even growing up, did you have any influences?
As far as acting, you mean?
Yes.
I mean, I was a huge Nicole Kidman fan growing up.
Okay.
And I'm very pale. I guess the people listening can't see that, but I'm super pale. And I feel like it was always cooler to be tan and have like, beautiful tan skin. So that was one reason why I love Nicole. And she's just so classy, and so her movies are amazing. Like, I remember watching Moulin Rouge for the first time, and I was at my best friend's house, and it was just all the feelings that movie made you feel. And so I really like Nicole Kidman, and then I also very clearly remember watching the second Mission Impossible. For some reason, that was the first one I saw, was the second one, and it was at my sister's boyfriend at the time. He had set up like a projector outside and invited a bunch of people over, and we watched that movie, and I just thought it was so cool. And just like watching Tom do his thing and get to do all this crazy stuff and all these cool stunts, that made me want to get into action movies. I was like, I want to be the female Tom Cruise. So I guess, yeah, those were, and ironically, the two of those were married at one point. So they were some of my inspirations.
Honestly, that's crazy. Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. That's fantastic. And I think you're well on your way. Like, candidly, you're well on your way to becoming that female Tom Cruise, because if you look at your movie career, like, it is huge. From Dusk Till Dawn, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, Walking Dead, Sleepy Hollow, to name a few. What are your career highlights as far as acting goes?
Well, thank you, first of all, for saying that. But I guess The Hunger Games was definitely a huge highlight. I mean, that was just one of those things where I got the call. I thought there was some kind of mistake. Like, why are they calling me for this? And the funny thing is, so, I mean, I worked on it for almost 2 months, but the first 2 weeks, I did not get on camera yet. So there's this thing where, like, if you're not on camera yet, they can still fire you and replace you with someone else, right? So I'm like, I show up to this set, and it's like the biggest movie of the year. There's like all those amazing actors. There's like paparazzi hiding outside of base camp. Like, it was just crazy. And I'm feel like I don't belong. And so I'm like, okay, just don't get fired. Like, don't do anything wrong. Act cool, act normal, do your thing. And because part of it was I was specifically hired for that because I have an athletic background and am able to do my own stunts. But at that point, I had never had any weapons training. So we were called in for that job with some kind of athletic ability, but then we had to train with these weapons. And that was a really great experience, because when else, I don't know if you can hear the siren, by the way, sorry.
They're coming for me. Sirens happen.
Coming for me.
What did you do, Elena? What did you do? Wait a minute. I think I know what it is. We found the female Tom Cruise. We found the female.
No, they know where I'm at. But yeah, so it was so fun to get to learn that stuff. And then once the first shot was done that I was in, it was like a huge relief. Like, okay, they can't replace me anymore. I'm in for the long haul. I'm gonna finish this. But yeah, it was just like the cast was so amazing, the costumes, the sets. Yeah, it was just a really great experience to be a part of.
Oh my goodness gracious. So as you mentioned already, you're not only an actress, but you're a stunt double too. How did that happen? Is it just your athletic background or?
Yeah, so I was a gymnast growing up and all the way through college, and then I after college I moved to New York City, went to drama school, and was just trying to get auditions like anywhere and everywhere, like looking on Craigslist, looking on there's this website called Actors Access where you can submit yourself. And so I my first big job, and I was still in drama school actually, was a commercial for Sony Ericsson where they were specifically looking for an actress who was a gymnast. And the reason why is in this commercial, it's kind of like Inception type stuff,
Yeah.
but basically we shot this in Mexico. They flew us down to Mexico, and it's a story. I mean, a story, it's a 30-second commercial, but like this girl meets guy, people start floating, there's like zero gravity happening. And we did that. I was put in a harness and on a wire. And also there was some stuff on a trampoline where they wanted me to flip around. And I got home from that job and I was thinking to myself, like, I think I just did stunts. Like, I didn't really know. I thought stunts was, well, men predominantly, first of all,
Yeah.
who were like crashing cars and getting lit on fire and doing that kind of stuff. And I didn't really know that there was this whole other side to it, that it was basically like anything that involved action or like an athletic ability. And so I got home from that job and kind of started doing more research about what stunt work meant and started reaching out to stunt coordinators, because so on movies and on TV shows, the people who hire the stunt people are the stunt coordinators. And I had some behind the scenes footage of me in Mexico working on that job of like hanging on the wires and stuff. So I put that together and made a little reel of what I had done along with some of my gymnastic stuff and just started sending that out to stunt coordinators.
So really it's a case of you get yourself out there by any means necessary, and obviously you've done tremendous work with that. And I mean, to that end, like, we've seen the sirens, we've heard the praise of the people, female Tom Cruise. We've actually noticed something a bit about your movies as we're looking through your profiles and figuring out what is really the best thing there is about you. But we noticed a lot of your movies are all action and horror. Are we going to see something a bit more comedic, a Valentine's Day-ish thing from you, or?
It's funny you say that because, and I talk about this with my mom often. My mom doesn't like horror movies and she's not a huge action fan. So she's like, can't you just do a romantic comedy, like something that I would actually enjoy watching? So yeah, I definitely would like to, branch out a little bit. I love the action stuff, but I'm totally down to do a romantic comedy or something a little more dramatic. Yeah, so it'll happen.
So it'll happen, stretching your wings and becoming an even more complete package than you already are. And when we talk about complete packages, like, I'm sorry, the list is long. We've got the Fast Saga, we've got Greenland, we've got Avengers Endgame, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Avengers Infinity War, Game Night, Den of Thieves, Walking Dead, Geostorm, The Gifted, Spider-Man Homecoming, Baywatch, Baby Driver, Get Out, The Magnificent Seven, Fantastic Four, Return to Sender, Insurgents, Wild Card, American Heist, The Bagman, Now You See Me, Oblivion, Olympus Has Fallen, The East, Beautiful Creatures, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Looper, 21 Jump Street, Contraband. So with
Take a
all
breath.
of that list that you have done based off of your stunt work, based off of your passions, based off of the sirens going, you're the female Tom Cruise, is it fair enough to say, judging by the list, that you are a bloody good stunt woman, in your own opinion?
Well, thank you for even putting that out there. I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I guess you have to be decent enough to keep working. I'll put it that way.
I'm sorry. Emily Blunt, when I found out you stunt doubled for her, that was shocking to me. Dean Fraser, what do you guys think? Because the list is long.
The list is very long, and congratulations, you are part of. Well, sorry, you were part of the highest grossest movie of all time until James Cameron got jealous. So congratulations for that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did majority of the research here, and when I was looking for your filmography, I was just like, "Oh my god, what has she been in?" To be honest with you, I've seen probably 3/4 of those movies, and I was just like, "Jesus Christ, she was in all of them."
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Like, I loved Looper. I love the Avengers movies.
Thank you. They were
Led by a
definitely.
true comic book fan.
I mean, part of it, is I was very lucky to. So at the beginning of my career, I moved to Louisiana. I didn't know a single soul there, but there was a booming film industry there. And not a lot of people know this, but then so this was in 2010, and there was a booming film industry there because of the tax incentives. So all these blockbusters you mentioned, I mean, especially the ones in those first 5 years were in and around Louisiana, and I happened to be the right size so now I feel like we're seeing a little more diversity in films as far as the leading women. But at the time, the leading women of these movies were tall, skinny white women. And I happened to fit that mold and was called to double these women. And I had that gymnastics background, which meant I was able to do the skills required. And yeah, so I'm very thankful that I was there for that boom and got to be a part of those projects, which started my career essentially.
Yeah. Apologies for going away. I just a little bit lost connection. Now I have told Nathan this next question. I haven't really told Fraser all of this. But you've actually been in a stunt double for Alexandra Daddario, Kate Beckinsale, my sort of Nottinghamshire sister, because her dad was born in Nottingham, so she's kind of like my Nottinghamshire sister in a way. Like Nathan's already mentioned, Emily Blunt, Ashley Judd, which I'm assuming was Olympus Has Fallen when she.
Yes.
That was that. Yep, that's her. It's not Ashley. It's Suki Waterhouse, Rosamund Pike. Mandy Moore, I believe. Like, can you please tell me if I get this name wrong? Because I cannot pronounce this. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's is it Isa Gonzalez?
Asa Gonzalez,
yeah. So pretty much that is where do we even begin with that list about how high up on the movie food chain they are? So just to enlighten us all, because that's all I could find on my IMDb research. Who else have you done stunts for? Please say Scarlett Johansson.
Did you? I mean, I think you mentioned like the most. Well, did you mention Britt Marling? she's kind of like an indie darling.
Yeah, that was in the research as well. Yeah, I did know of her.
I'm trying to think. I mean, a lot of them, you know, some of them were also like on smaller TV shows or that are not necessarily as well known yet as the ones you have mentioned.
Yeah.
I did do Zoe Saldana.
Why did we not put that on IMDb's? I'm sorry, Zoe Saldana is not just anybody.
Well, because I think
why would you not put that on?
Well, because I can't necessarily control like on the bigger movies. You know, they control it's how it's listed in the credits. Yeah. So it doesn't. I don't necessarily. Sometimes you don't get a specific stunt double credit. They just lump you in with the stunts, which is why on some of them, like I think on Looper or something, it says stunt double uncredited and then stunts. So it's like because you're not credited as the stunt double in the credits of the movies, so they so they don't like that. And then on the super big movies, you can't change what's on IMDb because they have their like contributors that have locked those credits and made it exactly what's in the credits of the movie.
It's a travesty. It really genuinely
is.
How dare they?
I know.
We know. Now, I have noticed something about this movie list. You've done more than a few movies with a certain Scottish gentleman by the name of Gerard Butler. How exactly?
Good old Jerry.
Good old Gerard, yeah.
Good old Jerry.
So, what is it about that man that keeps you going back to his movies in any capacity?
He's just so awesome. I love him so much. I mean, I think at this point, I think it's been 5 movies now. They're not all up there yet, so you'll have to, you know, keep looking out for when they get posted there.
There is actually, I've actually got 4 of them here. I didn't know there was a 5th one, so I do apologize for that.
Well, right, it's not up there, so you wouldn't know. But yeah, he's super cool. And because I try not to have like a preconceived notion about what these people are going to be like before I work with them. But he's just one of those people who he makes everyone feel good about themselves. He's like funny and charming, and he's great at what he does. He's really hardworking. And I mean, it's just coincidence that I've done so many of his. But yeah, at this point because I think I've done 4 Nick Cage movies, but so he's taken the lead of most amount of movies with someone that I've done with.
Until Gerard clips it back with that 5th one, obviously. You know what? I really want to ask you if you've got any Marvel stuff coming up, but I know for a fact you won't be able to talk about it. But we'll look out for you, whatever it is, whether it be.
Please do. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, we do. Hawkeye is actually coming out next week, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that.
I'm not in that one. I can tell you that. But
okay,
I wish.
Anyway.
Yeah. Actually, the reason we're here, gentlemen, and we have Elena, is that she has a movie coming out, which I believe it's already out.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have actually seen the trailer for it. And it is. So, what exactly is Demigod about? Just so you know, if you say anything other than Thor and Loki's not in it, you will ruin it for Mr. Fraser.
Well, I won't say that. I mean, maybe they are in it. You know, you'll have to watch it to find out. We do actually have a god. You know, we don't have those, but we have our own demigod, which is hence the title. So it's called Demigod. It's about a woman played by the amazing Rachel Nichols, who she's awesome.
Enticed already.
She's good. She's very good.
So she travels back to Germany to visit her late grandfather's cabin, which is in the Black Forest. And in this forest are also some other beings. We have myself as Latara the witch, who serves Carnunos, And so the Cernunnos, it's loosely based off of the Cernunnos myth, and Cernunnos is the god of like wild things and nature and beasts, and so she's hanging out in these woods, and things don't go as expected for her. I'll keep it at that.
As it always does in the movies.
Yes.
Nothing ever goes smoothly.
Yes.
Now, this was actually filmed in Germany, like you said, but you are actually from Germany, I believe?
Yes. Well, so we filmed it in Mississippi, but it's set in Germany.
Oh, I was going to say, if it was actually filmed in Germany, that would have been like a bit of a homecoming for you.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool. I have not worked in Germany yet, but...
There's still time.
Yes.
We should start a petition.
Yes.
We really
Please get Elena Sanchez working in Germany. Hey, we could do
Homecoming for Elena.
Well, so I finally, because 30% of the film is actually in German, which is, why I booked this part, because I had to speak German, and I also spoke English with a German accent. But so now I finally have, some footage of me playing a German character. So I will actually try to reach out to some agents and see if I can make that happen.
Nathan, I've just had an idea.
Okay.
If they ever decide to recast the Red Skull as a woman, what more do you need?
I could see it. Gymnast background, acting chops in numerous movies. Indeed. Female Tom Cruise. I could see it.
Yep, I can see that. All we need to do now is
let's make some calls.
Yeah, let's make some calls.
Send an email to Kevin Feige.
Oh man.
How was the cast and crew during your role as Tara?
So amazing. So we filmed this in December of 2020, which was like the height of the pandemic. I mean, it's still kind of crazy, obviously, but things had just started picking up again as far as film and TV production, because they had just come up with these new protocols of how to keep the cast and crew safe, and they have there's a very strict testing regimen and all that. So we filmed in Mississippi at a campground in the middle of nowhere that we were also living at. So for the 2 weeks, it was a pretty quick shoot. It was 2 weeks. We were quarantined and filming at this campground. So it was super fun. It was like a little film camp experience, and everyone was just so nice, and it was so amazing to be a part of.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine I got really close with a lot of people.
Yeah, we'd and I was actually staying in a cabin we were staying in these cabins. Some of them had 2 or 3 bedrooms, so I was staying in a cabin with the director and his wife, and he's also an actor, so they're actually both in the movie. But so we'd be filming for the day, and then we'd go back to our little cabin and cook dinner together and eat it. And it was when else do you have an experience like that? It was really cool.
That sounds incredible.
It does. We are actually big horror fans here, so I've got a very important question to ask you. In terms of blood and gore factor, are we talking Evil Dead or are we talking Evil Smeg? Now, Evil Smeg basically being where there's not much at all. So basically, will you satisfy my taste for blood and gore, or will my interest just fall flat?
You may be a little disappointed. So there are not many blood and gore scenes, but I'm thinking of one specifically that is pretty intense. Ooh. So it's so when it does happen, you might feel a little satisfied. But it's not throughout the whole movie.
I can believe that. So like we said earlier, it came out last week. So where can anyone and everyone find it? So
it is on all the on-demand sites, and I mean, iTunes, Amazon, Google, YouTube, I think. Yeah, it's pretty easy to find.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually do have Amazon Prime, as I've already pointed out, so I will go look for it, and I'll hopefully watch it before I get to see the next series of Star Trek Lower Decks. Just briefly before we move on to the quiz, and I have dreamed up the perfect quiz for you.
Oh, it's fantastic.
With a little touch, with a little help in from Mr. Tasker as well.
You're welcome, buddy.
I know. Have you got anything coming up that you'd like to talk about or can talk about that we haven't already discussed, or anything you'd like to personally promote?
I mean, I have 2 big projects that I'm a part of that I'm really excited about that I cannot tell you about yet.
Oh.
Come on.
Yeah, then the sirens really will be coming for me if I say anything about it.
It's something Marvel, isn't it?
I'm not telling. Sometimes I'm like, are they like listening to the call? Like, is the FBI gonna come knocking at my door?
The last I checked, no, but to keep you safe, we probably should.
Yeah,
there's the one Marvel guy who hasn't slept in years, like listen to each podcast.
Yeah, so there's actually 3, I guess. Yeah, I can't, but I will. I try to post about the stuff on social media or like on my Instagram whenever I'm allowed to. But other than that, I'm actually working on a movie behind the scenes. So that's something new for me. Yeah, I'm associate producer on a movie called Where All Light Tends to Go, and it's based on a book. Unfortunately, not a comic book. So
sorry, Praise. We tried.
I watch other films. So.
But we have a really great cast. We have Billy Bob Thornton and Robin Wright and Hopper Penn, who is Robin Wright's and Sean Penn's son, and a few other people who I can't mention because it hasn't been released yet as far as in the trades that they're a part of it. But yeah, so that's been an interesting experience for me, just to, kind of be there behind the scenes and help everything come together.
Well, congratulations on becoming associate producer, and may lead to more things in the future, maybe even the director's chair, perhaps. Perhaps. So yes, you just mentioned social media. What is your social media handles, which I believe you already have a follow from Final Cut Official on Instagram? Oh,
thank you. Lovely. So all my social media on everything is the Elena Sanchez. So that's just THE and then my name, ELENA SANCHEZ.
Uh-huh. Right, the quiz, which I spent half an hour dreaming up. I know, and then then however long it's been since then, salivating at the mere thought of what choices you would give.
Oh boy. Fun.
Yep. So this first question is important because at Final Cut Productions we kind of have a bit disagreement. You see, we 3 that you can see here have our favourite Batman and Joker. Our producer has her favourite, but we just need you to reacquaint that we are right when we say, who is your favourite Batman and Joker? It can be live action or animation, just so you are aware.
I mean, are you talking as far as actors?
Yep, actors or voiceover artists.
Probably Christian Bale and Heath Ledger.
No! No.
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry. We did not hear that. We did not hear Heath Ledger's name mentioned. No, we didn't.
We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. We're good. No, seriously, though.
Am I axed from the podcast?
No.
Oh, no. The producer goes before you, so you're fine.
Yep, you're fine.
Yeah. Well, we've always said that Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy are the best Batman and Joker pairing, but we also have the statement that says, if you have never experienced a Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill Joker partnership, then it is fair enough that your choices are different.
I mean, to be fair, I think I need to go back and watch some of the other ones.
Mm.
I mean, what are we thinking of? Is it Robert Pattinson who's the new one?
Yeah.
Am I confused?
Yeah, right. Yeah, Robert Pattinson is the new Batman.
Actually, Elena, we can help you out with Mark Hamill's Joker, Nathan.
I can't believe you didn't pick me. What in the world? What does Heath Ledger have that I don't have?
Looks for a start.
Okay, fine. That's one thing.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Our producer would say an Oscar.
Oh, bring that up again.
Yeah, I've got to. Sorry.
If you have to watch one Batman animated movie, make it Batman the Mask of Phantasm.
It is truly one of the best animation movies ever done, not just for Batman, not for DC or Warner Brothers, just in general. It generally is. We could not recommend that any more than we are right now.
I'll have to watch that then. See, yep. I need to open my horizons.
There you go.
Now that we respect and appreciate.
How do you think Robert Pattinson is going to do?
To be honest, my judgment was reserved for when it comes out. But from what I've seen, I think he'll do very well.
I think he's good for a young, brooding, rough around the edges Bruce Wayne.
Which is what he basically is. I mean, is it a year 2 storyline it's based on, Fraser?
It's pretty much like year 2, year 1 type of thing.
It's basically when Bruce was just starting out as Batman, so he's literally a little rough around the edges. So yeah, that's actually fine. Now the next question is not so much for us, but the producer, because her 2 favorite actors are Scott Eastwood and Richard Madden from Game of Thrones. Now she can't make her mind up which one's which, so we need a deciding vote on that. So who's your favorite actor, Scott Eastwood or Richard Madden?
Oh, that's hard because I've worked with Scott, but not with Richard.
Oh.
But I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, so that kind of just makes me want to say Richard.
Say Richard then.
All right, say Richard.
We'll say Richard.
Sorry, Scott. Richard.
Oh, you wait till I tell her that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. On a serious note, though, what is Scott Eastwood like as a guy? Because I've never had the chance to ask anyone what he's like.
I mean, he was super cool. He was very nice. I worked with him on Texas Chainsaw 3D.
I do remember.
So it was a while ago at this point. But yeah, he was. I mean, I didn't talk to him that much. He seemed a little quiet and reserved, but yeah, he was nice. He was cool. I don't have any juicy tidbits about him though, unfortunately.
No, that's fair enough.
That's fair enough.
Now you see, I was going to ask this next one, but I'm afraid it might be a bit futile because you have actually been in the MCU, and I was going to say MCU or the DCEU, but I know what your answer is going to be, so it's just pointless asking.
I don't think it has to be either or. I think it could be.
Like that? We love both.
Yeah. So I'm fully supportive of both, and I think they each have their good aspects.
Right.
I'm going to keep it neutral. I want to keep working.
All right.
How big a wrestling fan are you?
Wrestling?
Please say you are.
Is
she is? Right, I'll not ask her the next one. If she's not sure. I won't ask the next one.
I mean, I've seen some wrestling, but I it's a foreign language to me, so I will fail whatever your question.
That's okay.
We're not
going There's a question about a wrestler we can ask though.
Yes, there is.
Dwayne
Johnson. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Nathan, you're doing it better. Carry on.
Jason Statham or Dwayne Johnson?
That's also hard because I've also worked with both of them.
Oh, it's all right. We don't judge. Yep. I would happily work with both of them if the opportunity arose.
I mean, are we talking about like as actors or as, like
however you want to take it?
However you want to take it or view it.
That's hard. Geez. Are you trying to like alienate me from like our like?
No. You see, if I made everything easy, it wouldn't be any fun.
I mean, they were both cool. I'm gonna go with Jason because I feel like he's the underdog.
Yeah, everyone loves Dwayne. Not many people watch Jason's movies anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Jason a point so he can.
Yeah.
There you go.
He can feel the love.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, then. Here's a really tough question. Who's your favorite director out of Zack Snyder and Chris Nolan?
Oh,
Chris Nolan.
Yeah.
Oh!
Nice.
Oh!
I mean, hands down. Yeah, I would love to work with him one day. I got to visit the set of Interstellar.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I really genuinely am.
So, and also, wait, no, I'm confused. Yeah, I also visited the set of Tenet, I think.
Oh.
So he's definitely on my list of people I want to work with.
So he's actually at the top of a list of directors I would at some point like to work with at some point. However,
you have no idea how happy you just made him. You have no idea.
I mean, he's at the top of my list too. Like anytime anyone asks me, he's at the top of my list for sure.
Right. Actually, I'm not going to ask you this next one because it's which version of Justice League do you prefer? But everybody prefers Zack Snyder's, so no point really asking that, boys.
It's true.
Snyder's is the one that's 4 hours long.
Yeah. And I haven't seen. And now I'm trying to think if I don't think I haven't seen it, and it's like on my list of wanting to see it, but I'm like, when can I carve out 4 hours to see it?
The thing is, and we've actually done this, I've actually done this because I literally binge watched it in a night. It's actually done in chapters, and each chapter is about 40 minutes long. So even if you space it out, you can still make it into a proper movie, but just gives your brain time to say, right, this has happened in this. I know what's going to happen. So we'll move on to the next one. So that's just the best way to think about it, really. Now, these next couple have actually are 90s movies that have been redone. So I actually have watched both of these next ones. So there is no judgment on my behalf. 90s Mortal Kombat or the newest one?
I haven't seen those.
Okay.
The 90s Mortal Kombat, you're only missing the great music, but I have actually seen both, and I absolutely love the newest one.
Yes, it is.
So I should watch the newer one?
Oh, please.
Oh, please watch the newer one. Now, now Nathan knows this one, and you already know his views on it. That's why he's praying. He's literally praying to God right now. Michael Jordan Space Jam or LeBron James Space Jam?
So see, I think I've only seen Michael Jordan's, and at this point, it was so long ago that I
don't care.
You just made him happy now.
Thank you. It's the only one you need to say. Him happy.
Yeah, I didn't even know when was the new one.
It came out a few months back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in July.
He literally does not like it.
Oh, yeah, I completely missed that one. So.
You don't miss much. Now there is a question. This next one affects both me and Mr. Fraser, so you will not make one of us happy, but we will respect your decision anyway.
Uh-oh.
Which Evil Dead do you like? Sam Raimi's Evil Dead or Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead? 80s Evil Dead or newer Evil Dead?
I haven't seen that the second one.
To be honest with you, I actually think this is the first time I've ever said this about a remake. These two will actually back me up on this. I have always said the remake is never better than the original. But in my in my case, I've watched Evil Dead that many times that I still go back to it. It is probably the best remake of anything you will ever get, and Mr. Fraser will look at me with laser eyes.
I am so happy. I have not seen this amount of joy on Michael Fraser's face throughout the entirety of the podcast. That's no joke, no lie.
Yeah, this isn't a joke either. Fede Alvarez's Evil Dead is way better than Sam Raimi's, and that's the first time I've ever said that about a remake.
Oh, graciously.
There you go.
Man, you gotta take the L on this one. I'm sorry.
Seriously, it is really good. I would happily recommend that to anyone.
Okay, I will definitely. I'm adding it to my list right now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to cut this next section in half. It's the money and stardom round. In a dream world where you are an actress, you are a highly paid actress, you have the choice of who you work with. So, who would you work with out of? And we'll keep it Batman just for us. George Clooney or Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
He's happy.
Oh, great answer.
Right. Now, this is not based on his jokiness. This is actually on him as a performer. Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford?
That's tough.
Again, no judgment. Just choose the answer you want.
I mean, I'd like to, work with both. But maybe I'll say, I've heard really awesome things about Harrison Ford. So maybe I would say Harrison Ford first, and then I can work with Mark on the next one.
Hey, she can make that answer.
She can make that, yeah, she can.
Yeah, that's a beautiful
All
answer.
right. DC's favorite composer, Hans Zimmer, or Star Wars' favorite musician, John Williams?
Hans Zimmer.
That was quick.
That was very quick.
I love his stuff. I love it. Someone recently asked me, like, who would you want to compose the soundtrack to your life? And I was like, Hans Zimmer. He'll make it sound really epic.
He is the modern day cream of the crop, the greatest of all time in terms of composers.
Yeah.
No issues there.
I kid you not. I have Now We Are Free from the Gladiator soundtrack 21 years ago. I have it on my Amazon playlist and I still listen to it.
It's fantastic.
That is no lie. No word of a lie. Right, here's one for you. Would you rather work with Maggie Gyllenhaal or Jake Gyllenhaal?
Oh, I'm trying to think if I've worked with either of them. I don't think I have.
You can say one and then the other too.
Yeah, you can do that.
That was a really good dodge. I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, they both seem cool. I'd probably say Jake.
Fair enough. Now, this next one's going to test you.
Oh, boy,
this is actually a married couple, so you're going to make one of them happy and one of them miserable regardless. Blake Lively or Canada's favourite son, Ryan Reynolds?
So
we have two Canadians with us, and I'm sure they won't be offended.
It's true. We won't. If you don't pick our guy, it's fine. Blake Lively zings him every day on Twitter, so it's.
Yeah, so we have to.
So I actually worked on Green Lantern.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Green Lantern was.
Both of them?
Huh?
You've worked with both of them.
Well, yes, but because it's funny at the time. Well, it's not funny, but it's interesting. At the time, Ryan was still married to Scarlett Johansson, and I was actually on a flight with Scarlett. I was like flying back to New Orleans, and Scarlett was on the flight. I guess going to visit Ryan or whatever. But yeah, so Green Lantern was the last movie I worked on as an extra. So, but back to your question, I mean, they both seem super cool. I'm gonna say Blake, just because I feel like she would be like a really cool girlfriend to have.
Yeah, I would do that as well.
And I want to be her best friend.
Not to mention Blake Lively owns Ryan Reynolds every single day, so
right,
there we go.
Right. Yeah.
All right then. This is actually a quite interesting one because these two would actually, I think they're on about doing a buddy cop movie. Jason Momoa or Dave Bautista.
Well, so I have worked with Dave.
As for wrestling fans, please tell us what he's like.
Yes, please.
I mean, so to be honest, I didn't really talk to him much. I was basically like sitting next to him in the scene, and he was just kind of quiet and in character. So I didn't have a chance to get to know him. So unfortunately, I have nothing more about that. But wait, now I even forget who was the first person.
Jason
Momoa.
Oh, right. So, well, since I've worked with Dave already, I'm going to say Jason, so I can get to know what he's like, because he seems pretty awesome too.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Well, yeah.
Now, as we are wrestling fans here, can you please make our producer see the light? Dwayne Johnson or John Cena? Please, don't say John.
So I worked with John Cena on a Fast 9. And he was incredibly nice. I can sense the anticipation.
This is actually genuinely important for us. You have no idea how important this is for us.
I guess John.
Oh no.
We are never going to live that
That's
way.
Oh my god.
Oh no, that's it. I live with our producer, and my life is now over. I will never hear the end of this now.
To be fair, I feel like Dwayne gets so much love, and the like underdog in me wants to give the underdogs a little love.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right,
but I do. I mean, Dwayne is really awesome. He's really great at what he does. He's a super hard worker.
Yeah.
And I love the way he is with his fans. Like, it's just so awesome. And he's also very inspirational. And I am inspired by him and what he's done with his career. So yeah, but I feel like he's got so many people singing his praises. I just want to
that's fine. Right. The one thing that we can say about John Cena above all else is I'm not sure if he still does, but he holds the record for most wishes granted by the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Wow, that's awesome.
So we will never ever doubt how lovely a guy he is, because that just says everything you need to know, really.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually quite, this next one, I don't know where this has come from, but when they say in the movies, marvel at my genius. Well, I actually have, I've marveled at this so much. I am my ego is even higher than it should be. So you have to choose one, you have to choose a Chris to work with. Now, there's only 3 Chris's that I know that you know. So which one do you choose? The other 2 have to go into a Sarlacc pit. I'm afraid. I'm sorry. It's just how it is.
Oh,
remember, Dean, she can beat you up, so you have to be careful.
I know she could, but I would happily take the beating. Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pratt, or America's ass himself, Chris Evans. I know. I'm so mean, but I'm so good at the same time.
He's so mean. He says with a giant smile on his face from ear to ear.
I do.
So, what about Chris Pine, though? Come on.
Okay, you can put Chris
Oh,
Pine
okay,
on.
okay.
You
Chris
can
Pine.
put.
Oh,
That's
she's making
fine.
it
Put
even
him on.
worse.
Put it on.
Chris Pine,
Put
then.
him
Well,
on.
no, okay. I've worked with Chris Pratt twice. And he is so fun. He's super awesome. So that's why I'm not going to mention him, because I've already had that experience and I want to get to know some of the other Chris's.
Right, he's going in the Starlight Pit, so you've got 3 more.
It's hard. You're making me
It is
choose
hard.
between like.
He's making you choose between gods and heroes.
Yeah, God's
Yeah.
hero,
What are you
Joker.
doing to me? This is like.
I know.
Can we
I
just
know,
gather
I'm so
them
sorry.
all together and make a movie with all the Chris's? How about that?
Right.
Hey,
If that's what you want to do, we'll do that. She's good.
She's very good.
She's genuinely very good.
And this is why Sirens Come, female Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Just saying.
Oh, by the way, if you thought that was tough, this is going to be even tougher because
Oh,
Nathan
great.
knows the good question.
Oh boy,
This will
I'm
make
so
or break a
excited for
household.
this.
This will make or break the Fraser household. Who is your favourite out of Bruce Campbell, which is our dear Michael Fraser's favourite, or his wife's favourite, Emily Browning?
Ooh, so I'm actually not that familiar with either of them.
Okay.
Bruce
So-
Campbell, you know from Evil Dead. Emily Browning has been in just about everything. She is one of the loveliest people alive. She's one of the most beautiful. Emily Browning's been in Sucker Punch. She's in American Gods on Amazon. Bruce Campbell is just known for Evil Dead, and that's it.
Bruce Campbell
That's so true.
is
Evil Dead,
no,
Briscoe County Jr., Jack of all trades, Burn Notice.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, you can tell
Spider-Man.
you can tell we have a Bruce Campbell fan here. That's how he knows all this.
I'm gonna say Emily.
Yes. Oh, producer, if you're listening
You have
to this,
no idea.
Producer, if
Yes,
you're
you
listening
have
to this,
no idea how happy you just made Mrs. Fraser.
Seriously, producer, if you're listening to this, edit this part specifically and send it to Michael Fraser's wife.
Yes, put one of those memes on when everyone's in the bar. The minute she says Emily Browning, everyone just cheers at the top of their voices.
Get the slow claps going. The whole bar goes. Oh,
Oh, you have no idea how happy that has made me and Nathan. You have no idea.
I'm glad.
My last question. To be fair, we could, like I said, we could talk all night, but
yeah.
we'll make this the last question because me and Nathan are having so much fun. Now, you have worked with some of the famous names in the business. We don't need to go into them because I think we already have. So can you name me 10 or 20 actors, actresses, and directors that you haven't worked with yet that you would like to work with before you eventually hang up the stunty and the acting cape? And just so you know, if you are stuck, both of my co-hosts are at your disposal.
Well,
For you.
first of all, I hope to never hang up that cape. I hope to be like the lady who played the older Rose in Titanic and be working until the very end of my days.
That is a darn good answer.
So I have a long time, to work with all these people that I'm going to list now. At the top, as far as actors, definitely Tom Hanks.
Oh.
He is just a legend. And
no argument.
yeah, so I, hopefully that'll happen someday. Then if we're talking women, Meryl Streep,
The common denominator, I think, out of two people have not named her in this 20. Everybody else has. I'm genuinely not joking. The first time someone didn't mention her name, I celebrated. I genuinely celebrated. The only thing that was missing was the champagne.
Oh man!
I mean, who would not want that?
Yeah. Exactly.
And then if we think about other women with amazing inspirational careers and just incredibly talented. You know, I mean, Helen Mirren,
Yes.
Judi Dench.
Yes.
Let's go back to some men. I mean, I would like to work with George Clooney, even though I didn't. He was not my choice before.
Got to
But
work at
he-
least once with Gorgeous George.
Yeah, I mean, he seems cool. Like he's talented, but he also just seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
Directors, I mean, Jim Cameron,
Yes.
Yeah.
for sure. After I work with Chris Nolan.
Yeah, which we'll also put on that list.
Um,
My two co-hosts are available to you if you need help.
yeah, give me some more.
Okay, okie dokie. Living or dead, since we have Dane Judi Dench on there. What about somebody like a Daniel Craig, Pierce Brosnan, Robin Williams?
Yes, and yes.
Okay.
Keanu Reeves?
Yes. So Keanu Reeves, I bumped into him. I was visiting the set of John Wick. I think it was 3 at the time. And
Now you have my attention. I love both Keanu Reeves and John Wick.
yeah, I mean, like he just seems so cool. You know, and you hear all these stories about him of like all the amazing things he's done and the way he looks out for like cast and crew and they're all true. You know, all those stories are all true, and he's so talented, and yeah, so he's definitely up there. And you know, as far as action is concerned, like he's amazing with that too. So that in itself is an inspiration to me. And The Matrix, you know, The Matrix was, when I was in high school, we had to watch The Matrix in my English class and just completely dissect it and study it. And yeah, so Keanu Reeves.
Ooh.
Awesome. You know, another director, maybe like Rob Zemeckis.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Catherine Bigelow.
Ooh.
We gotta add some women to the list.
Ooh.
Would
Blake Lively be on that list because she is a director now?
Oh, is she? I didn't even know that.
She is. Yeah, she directed I think it's one of Taylor Swift's videos. So technically, Blake Lively is a director now.
Okay, well there you go. I mean, you know, yeah. Also, like Reese Witherspoon, I love what she's done with, you know, her production company, and I mean that's really amazing to me, and she seems really cool too. So yeah, definitely Reese Witherspoon. Who else? I mean, I was gonna say, basically everyone who's not on the list of people I do not want to work with, and that list is very, very short, and I don't think it would be a good idea to, you know, put that list into words here.
Yep.
Or ever.
You won't. Yeah, that's fair enough.
That's very.
But yeah, I do have a list of people I do not want to work with, which I don't think you could pay me enough money to work with.
Oh, believe me,
people.
I have my own list. So maybe when the interview's over, we could compare notes. They know what my list. They know.
It's true.
I don't want to work with.
It's true. We name one name and he goes completely.
I do. I go nuts.
It's true.
I genuinely do.
The Sandman.
Oh God.
Penelope Cruz.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Not a name we've heard. We've not heard that name in a while.
She has that new movie coming out, or it's not out yet, right? Or it's coming out soon. I really want to watch it. Apparently she's amazing in it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to work with Tom Cruise again.
Obviously.
Okay.
Obviously, I mean, he's pretty fantastic. He's pretty fantastic. Yeah.
You mentioned Dame Judi Dench. I'm thinking,
Yes,
what about Maggie Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maggie Smith. I would love to work with her. And it's interesting, I guess, just because I've done a lot of action movies, I feel like most of the people I've worked with are men. Other than, a lot of times, okay, even when I'm stunt doubling, yes, I'm working with whatever actress I'm doubling, but most of the other people in the scene are men. So I really haven't had the opportunity to work with that many women.
Emilia Clarke?
Yes. Oh, I'd love to work with her. She seems really cool.
Who doesn't want to work with the mother of all dragons?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah. Who else is there from Game of Thrones that we could say?
Oh, I did work. So I worked with Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, you did?
Oh, wow.
And she was, I mean, I don't really get starstruck. But with Gwendolyn, I was like, so I worked with her it was like 2 or 3 weeks. And then on the very last day in the makeup trailer, she was there and I was next to her and I was like, I'm going to say something because she's really awesome and I want her to know. And so I just told her, I was like, it's like, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan and you're just so awesome in it. And this character you play, like this strong woman, but who's also vulnerable. And I would just, went on and on and on about how amazing she was. And she was so kind and so gracious. And she was like, thank you so much for saying that. And like, she was really touched by it, which made me even more touched by it. Yeah, she's so sweet and she's so awesome and I love her. So hopefully I can work with her one day in a non-stunt doubling capacity because that was when I was doubling Mandy Moore.
Yeah, what about Nikolai Coster-Waldau, who played Jaime Lannister?
So he was on Oblivion, which I worked on.
God,
and
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool.
What about Lena Headey, who played well, everyone knows it. Everyone who knows Game of Thrones knows who exactly she is.
Yeah. She's cool too. She's very talented. I would love to work with her as well. She was also in the Purge movie.
She was also in Dread as well.
I
think we should just going to give you one last name, and I am going to be a bit biased here because this lady is actually from England, and obviously I am from England, so I'm going to be a bit biased. What about Natalie Emmanuel? She played Daenerys Targaryen's.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if I've worked with her. Because she was on
Fast 9.
She was on Fast 9, but she was also on. I feel like she was on something else recently that I.
Army of Thieves, which was the prequel to Army of the Dead, Zack Snyder.
Yeah. No. I mean, she's like, I love her. She seems really down to earth and just like a really sweet, genuine person. But yeah, I mean, I guess I haven't worked with her. I mean, I think I've been on projects that she's been on, but not around her, I don't think.
Well, I'm pretty sure I can speak for my other two co-hosts when I say this with the biggest pile of respect and admiration I can. You have been such an amazing guest. You have played my quiz. You have turned it round. You have shown that extra dimension when I have known personally that a lot of others wouldn't. So thank you for entertaining us. And more importantly, you have made Mrs. Fraser very happy.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you guys for having me. This was so much fun. What a perfect way to spend a Sunday afternoon.
And this is exactly how we feel every single day. Well, in my case, it's evening, but this is exactly how we feel every single Sunday.
Yeah.
If you ever want to come on, you're more than welcome to.
Yes.
Well, maybe after those other projects that I can't talk about.
Yep, we will have you back every single week if you would happily have us.
Thank you.
And unfortunately now, Elena Sanchez, I must say you have officially joined the Madhouse. That's his final comment.
Welcome to the Madhouse, Elena.
Indeed.
We set a trap and you sprang it gloriously.
I love it. Yep. I'll wear it as a badge of honor.
Oh, bless you. And
so
probably the best interview I've had for a fair while, and I definitely know the best interview that Nathan's done.
Yeah,
and probably the best that Mr. Fraser's done. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, Elena Sanchez.
Welcome to number one on our list.
Definitely.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. You were awesome. Happy to be here.